Hi, I'm John Walsh, President and Chief Operating Officer for UGI. Really pleased to have the opportunity to introduce you to UGI and our dynamic and growing businesses. UGI is a company with a long history of success. We celebrated our 130th anniversary in 2012, and we're one of a select group of New York Stock Exchange companies that have paid dividends for 125 consecutive years. While we're really proud of our history, we're more focused on the future and the great opportunities that exist for investment and growth for UGI. That is where the people of UGI come in. We're a people and customer-intensive company. We serve over 3 million customers worldwide, and we have over 15,000 members of the UGI team. We're constantly looking for opportunities to improve as we compete in a dynamic sector globally. So we're looking for new people to join the team and contribute their energy and ideas to enable UGI's success. So please consider joining the UGI team.
Hi, I'm Beaver. I'm the Director of Supply and Asset Optimization for UGI Energy Services.
My name is Kevin Grant, and I'm a project manager with UGI Energy Services.
My name is Calderon. I'm a project manager in the Business Development Group at Energy Services.
I'm Alan Coleman, project manager at Energy Services.
My name is Kevin Kelleher, and I'm manager of producer services at UGI Energy Services.
My name is Jeff England, and I'm a project engineer for UGI Energy Services.
My name is Steve Kossuth. I'm the Group Director of Supply at AmeriGas.
We're at Hunlock Creek Energy Center, just south of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. This is a power plant that UGI built in 2009 to replace a coal-fired plant that was built here in the 20s. We took an 80-year-old coal-fired power plant, repowered it with clean-burning natural gas, and tripled its output from 43 megawatts to 120 megawatts. I was the project manager for UGI. I was involved from the beginning of the project, from the siting, the layout of the plant, all the way through permitting and construction of the plant to the operations of the plant currently.
We're at Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. This is one of AmeriGas's largest terminals, and it's one of 50 that we have across the country. It houses approximately 1 million gallons of propane and is an integral part into our supply network. AmeriGas is the largest propane company in the United States, and we use that buying power combined with assets like these to be able to get a competitive advantage in the marketplace.
We are at Energy Services in the Wyomissing office in the Supply Trading Room. I'm the Director of Supply and Asset Optimization at UGI Energy Services. I spent about 3 years at UGI Utilities working in various engineering roles, then moved over to Energy Services in the Supply Group. My group is now responsible for purchasing all of the gas for all of our customers across the Mid-Atlantic region.
This is a liquid natural gas plant. This is where we take gas off the pipeline, liquefy it, cool it down to negative 260 degrees Fahrenheit, and put it in storage in the cryogenic tank behind me. We vaporize it and feed it back into the system on the coldest days of the year. I've been involved in the development and construction of solar projects, the LNG project behind me, combined heat and power plants, and now I'm working on the development of this new emerging LNG market.
Well, the Marcellus Shale is one of the largest natural gas finds in the world, and having it here proximate to a lot of our operating areas and existing businesses has been profound for UGI. So we're developing a lot of infrastructure projects, looking at new opportunities to acquire some assets in the area. And so in particular, we're looking at new projects that building pipeline, infield gathering, and compression to take that local gas either to the interstate markets, where we then serve other markets that we have, or directly into our utility markets here in Pennsylvania.
We're at the gas plant side of Hunlock Creek Energy Center, where behind me we have the waste heat boiler, which basically takes the leftover exhaust from a natural gas turbine, regenerates it back through the old coal plant to get an extra 30% output for the plant. As a project engineer with UGI Energy Services, I spend most of my time coordinating with contractors and ensuring that day-to-day construction goes smoothly on these multi-million-dollar projects.
I joined 3 years ago, and my first responsibility was to pursue solar energy projects, which was a new initiative the company was undertaking at the time. Currently, UGI has 11 solar installations throughout the region. We have a footprint through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland, and we're one of the largest solar developers in Pennsylvania with over $35 million invested to date. A solar project involves kind of three main areas. There's the upfront area of development, there's the construction, and then there's all the operations after it's been constructed. So my responsibilities was kind of that first area, all of the development portion before construction started, and then afterwards I'm responsible for the financial management of the system as well.
Prior to coming to UGI, I was an Army officer. I was a combat engineer officer. I'd served overseas in a couple stateside tours. I came to UGI 5 years ago and started as a project engineer. Since I've been here, I've worked on multiple projects, gas plant and power plant projects. The first project I did was a propane terminal. It's about $10 million in value. I also worked on a landfill gas to energy plant about an hour north of our office. That was the $35 million project that converts the landfill gas into power. We generate about 12 megawatts of power from that plant, and that's one of the largest landfill gas to energy plants in the country.
My first job at AmeriGas was the Director of Procurement, where I was responsible for $400 million worth of purchases. In 3 years' time, I was promoted to my current role in supply.
After Lehigh, I began with UGI in the New Business Engineering Department in the UGI service territory. In my current role, I report to a vice president who reports to the president of Energy Services. So I work in a fairly flat organization with a lot of accessibility. Once you get to a certain level of your career, you actually get exposure to other executives within sister companies as well.
Right out of business school 2 years ago, I was placed on this project. This was a $120 million project of capital investment for us. My role on this project was managing the day-to-day construction activities of our contractor, managing the regulatory activities and requirements that we had to adhere to, managing the internal timelines and budgets, making sure we were on schedule, making sure we were on time, basically making sure the project was a success.
Well, I started with UGI 10 years ago. I started out as an engineer in our new business marketing at the utility. I spent a few years with the utility and had a couple of different positions there. Eventually joined our propane affiliate, AmeriGas. Spent a few years there in a business development type role. And about 3 years ago, I joined UGI Energy Services to help out with the Marcellus development.
Prior to working as a project engineer with UGI, I was an explosive ordnance disposal officer and civil engineer for the United States Air Force. I think my experiences in the military have translated well to the responsibility given to me here at UGI.
What I like best about working at Energy Services is the variety of projects that it allows me to work on. I've worked on everything from alternative energy projects. I've worked on conventional type projects like the development of a power plant and some LNG applications. So it allows me to use some of my engineering type background and also the business functional areas that I learned in business school.
What I love about Energy Services is the environment. It's very much a family environment. You have access to a lot of the upper management. You get to share your ideas, and there's not a whole lot of structure, which can be a good and a bad thing, but for us, it's very good because we're creative and a growth engine of the company, which you need to have that environment in order to be successful.
What I like best about working at UGI is how I can use both my engineering and my business backgrounds and apply it to so many different kinds of projects, so many different kinds of energy projects.
Well, I think the great thing about UGI is that to the extent that you're motivated enough, you're given an opportunity to take on larger responsibilities, things that have perhaps more complexity to them. The natural gas business at a high level is somewhat simple, but as you get into the details, there's a lot of complexity and a lot of nuances, and you get to see a lot of that if you're motivated enough. UGI will give you the opportunity to do that, and I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of those opportunities presented to me. So I do think that UGI is a great place to see a lot of different things, a lot of diverse things related to the energy industry.
What I like best about working with UGI is getting to be out on the construction site, out on a day-to-day basis, and dealing with natural gas. As a former EOD guy, these high-pressure gas systems don't scare me easily.
I also enjoy the fact that I've got this level of responsibility and there's no one shooting at me, as there was when I served time overseas.
Access to senior managers is immediate. On a daily basis, I meet with senior level executives to make supply decisions.
The senior managers at Energy Services are very accessible. They all have an open door policy. I walk into my boss's office on a regular basis to bounce ideas off of him, and I walk into his boss's office regularly. So it's a very collegial environment to be a part of.
Basically, UGI is able to give you as much responsibility as you can handle. If you're a younger employee and you show motivation and loyalty, dedication to your job, and just that willingness to move forward, there's really no limit to what you can do.
One of the nicest things about starting with UGI is from day one I've had a huge amount of responsibility, both in dealing with contractors and also with high budgets, and being able to make decisions that affect really the long-term growth of the company.
You get a lot of responsibility here at a young age. You're going to get to try a lot of different things, and they give you a lot of latitude to learn new businesses, to interact with a lot of different people, and just get involved with a lot of really neat projects that a lot of people, your age really don't get a chance to do very often.
AmeriGas gave me a lot of responsibility very quickly in my time here. And having that responsibility in comparison to that of my peers, it's truly a benefit to working at a company such as this.
If someone asked me about pursuing a career at UGI Energy Services, I would tell them I think that you're probably going to be pleased because you're going to have you're going to get a lot of exposure to the energy business. You're going to work in a friendly, collegial environment, and you're going to get a lot of responsibility up front that will allow you to use the skills that you've been learning over the past few years.
At UGI Energy Services, you basically need to be very dynamic and very adaptable to change. Being a very lean company, there's a lot of work to be done. You have to be motivated every day, and there's a lot going on, so you have to enjoy that type of environment. If you like that entrepreneurial type of spirit, then Energy Services is a great place for you.
If you're considering a career with UGI, I would highly recommend it. The responsibility you receive from day one is absolutely amazing, and the focus that UGI puts on its people is really second to none.
I think UGI is a great place to start a career or to continue a career.
I think the amount of freedom that you're given to be, a leader in the organization and to participate and provide ideas and input into decision-making processes at the highest levels is a really great opportunity, and certainly one that I cherish at UGI.
We've designed the MBA program at UGI to meet the needs of the company as well as each individual. We provide our newly hired MBAs, as you've seen, with a broad range of opportunities in each of our businesses and in critical functions such as finance, corporate development, and operations. We're energized by the talent and focus that the MBAs bring to the company, and at the same time we challenge them with the opportunities to work side by side with senior managers on critical projects that are important to the future of the company. While they work on these individual projects, they're also given an opportunity to see the rest of the company, to learn about our other businesses, so that they're in a great position to make good decisions about their own careers. So please consider joining UGI, and we welcome you to our team.